The ice cream truck Craigslist is one of America's largest online classifieds platforms. You can find almost anything there: used cars, jobs, furniture, or even free stuff. But every so often, hidden among the countless innocent posts, you'll come across something unsettling. This is the story of one such ad. At first, it seemed harmless, even welcoming. But what lay beneath turned out to be far darker than anyone could have imagined. The ad. In the summer of 2014, a peculiar post appeared in the free stuff section of Craigslist. Free ice cream for everyone. This is part of our church's charity project. Message me to find out the truck's current location. The ad quickly gained attention. Who wouldn't want free ice cream on a sweltering summer day? It seemed like a thoughtful gesture, a community effort to spread joy. But those who followed the truck's trail would soon realize it wasn't what it appeared to be. The first encounter. Tom, a 25-year-old college student, noticed the ad and decided to check it out. He messaged the poster and received a reply a couple of hours later. The truck will be at Maplewood Park today at 6 p.m. Come by. There's plenty for everyone. Excited at the thought of free ice cream, Tom drove to the park. As he pulled in, he immediately spotted the truck, old, battered, and covered in peeling paint. The words ice cream were barely legible. What struck him as odd was the eerie stillness. There were no children, no families, no one waiting for the free treat. The truck just sat there, idling, with its engine softly rumbling. Tom hesitated for a moment before approaching. He knocked on the service window, but no one answered. Just as he was about to leave, he heard a loud creak. The back door of the truck slowly swung open. "Hello? Is anyone there?" Tom called out, but the only response was silence. A wave of unease washed over him. He decided to leave, and as he drove away, he glanced in his rearview mirror. The truck's engine roared, and it began to follow him. Tom's heart raced, but after a few tense minutes, the truck turned down a different street and disappeared. The warning signs. That night, Tom searched online for any mentions of the ice cream truck. What he found was chilling. Several posts in local forums warned people to stay away from similar trucks in neighboring areas. One person described finding a truck abandoned near a highway. Its freezers were off, and inside there were plastic bags containing something the police refused to disclose. 2 days later, a new ad appeared on Craigslist. Free ice cream for families. Bring the kids and enjoy a treat. Message for today's location. The second encounter. Karen, a mother of 2, saw the post and thought it sounded like a fun outing for her kids. She messaged the poster and got a quick response. "We'll be parked by the old gas station off Route 9 tonight at 8 p.m. Come by with your family." Something about the late hour gave her pause, so she decided to check it out alone first. When she arrived, the scene was unsettling. The gas station was long abandoned, its windows shattered and its sign barely hanging on. The ice cream truck was parked in the lot, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Its engine was running, but there were no other cars or people around. "Hello," Karen called out as she approached cautiously. She could see the silhouette of someone sitting in the driver's seat, but they didn't move. The back door of the truck creaked open, just as it had for Tom. This time, Karen saw a faint light flickering inside. The air was thick with the smell of spoiled food. As Karen stepped closer, she suddenly heard the crunch of gravel behind her. Turning around, she saw a figure emerging from the shadows. The aftermath. Karen sprinted back to her car and managed to escape, but the story doesn't end there. Over the next few weeks, the ice cream truck was spotted in multiple locations across the state. Each time, it posted new ads, luring people to isolated areas. Local police eventually tracked down the vehicle, abandoned in a remote field. Inside, they found makeshift restraints, a blood-stained tarp, and a collection of photographs, all of people who had responded to the ads. The driver was never caught, and to this day, some people claim to see the truck late at night in desolate parking lots, its engine idling, waiting for the next unsuspecting victim. A warning Craigslist can be a useful tool, but not everything is what it seems. The next time you see an offer that sounds too good to be true, think twice before you respond. Sometimes the cost of free is far greater than you realize. ###****. The farm job. ****. Craigslist is a goldmine for unusual opportunities. From quirky gigs to offbeat projects, you never know what you might stumble across. But sometimes, what appears to be a harmless job posting can turn out to be something much darker. This is the story of a farm job that came with chilling consequences for those who dared to apply. ###****. The job ad ****. In late summer 2015, a post appeared in the jobs section of Craigslist. Help wanted farmhand. Looking for someone to help care for animals on a 300-acre farm. $300/week. Free trailer housing provided. Quiet, peaceful environment. Perfect for someone wanting to escape city life. Applicants must be single and willing to relocate. Contact for details. For those dreaming of a simpler life away from the chaos of the city, this sounded like the perfect opportunity. 3 people responded to the ad. Matt, a 34-year-old teacher looking for a fresh start. Brian, a 42-year-old divorcee tired of urban living. And Eli, a 29-year-old with a passion for farming. Each of them packed their belongings and made their way to the remote property. ###. Matt's first week ****. When Matt arrived, the farm seemed idyllic. Rolling hills stretched as far as the eye could see, and the small trailer provided for him was modest but livable. The farm's owner, a man named Richard, welcomed him warmly, shaking his hand firmly and giving him a tour of the property. But something felt off. For one, Richard lived alone, despite the farm being far too large for one person to manage. He had no family photos in his house and avoided personal questions. His behavior was polite, but distant, and he always seemed to be watching Matt, studying him. By the end of the first week, Matt noticed something else. A heavy padlock on the barn, which Richard told him to stay away from. When Matt asked about it, Richard's smile faded. "It's just old equipment," he said flatly. "No need to go poking around." ###. Brian's arrival ****. A week later, Brian arrived. Richard introduced him to Matt, and the two got along well enough. But Brian noticed the same strange things Matt had: the locked barn, the eerie isolation, and Richard's odd demeanor. One night, while sitting outside their trailers, Matt told Brian about something he'd found in the woods. A pile of old clothes, partially buried under leaves. They looked like they belonged to different people, different sizes, styles, and conditions. Maybe it's just junk someone dumped here, Brian suggested, though his voice was shaky. Matt wasn't so sure. Eli's strange experience. When Eli arrived a few days later, he was given a trailer on the far edge of the property, away from Matt and Brian. From the moment he stepped onto the farm, he felt uneasy. He claimed Richard's demeanor toward him was colder, more calculating. One night, Eli woke up to the sound of footsteps outside his trailer. Looking through the window, he saw Richard standing in the shadows, holding a flashlight and staring directly at him. Eli froze, unsure of what to do. After a few minutes, Richard turned and walked away without explanation. The barn. The turning point came when Matt decided to investigate the barn. Late one night, he grabbed a flashlight and pried the padlock open with a crowbar he'd found. Inside, the stench was overwhelming. As he stepped in, his light fell on something horrifying. Hooks hanging from the ceiling, stained with dark, dried blood. Rusty tools lay scattered on the floor, along with chains and restraints. At the back of the barn, there were large freezers, all padlocked shut. Matt didn't have the courage to open them. Disappearance. The next morning, Matt told Brian what he'd found, and they decided to leave immediately. But when they went to warn Eli, his trailer was empty. Richard claimed Eli had left in the middle of the night, saying he didn't feel the job was right for him. Matt and Brian didn't buy it, but they knew better than to confront Richard directly. That evening, while Brian was packing his things, he suddenly went missing too. Matt searched the property, but found no trace of him. Realizing he was alone, Matt decided to make a run for it. The escape mat waited until Richard went to bed before sneaking out of his trailer and heading for his car. As he started the engine, he saw Richard emerge from the house, holding a shotgun. Matt floored the gas pedal and sped down the dirt road, hearing the gunfire behind him. He didn't stop until he reached the nearest town, where he reported everything to the police. The aftermath. When authorities searched the property, Richard was gone. They found the barn exactly as Matt had described it, and inside the freezers, they discovered remains that were too decomposed to identify. To this day, Richard has never been caught. Local rumors suggest he's still out there, using Craigslist to lure in new victims. A word of caution. Job listings on Craigslist might seem like a great way to find new opportunities, but always trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And if you ever see a farm job ad that sounds too good to be true, think twice before responding. Dear Sarah, Craigslist is often a convenient place for people to find what they need, whether it's a job, a roommate, or even a missed connection. But not every post is innocent. Sometimes, the things people share online can reveal a darkness lurking just beneath the surface. This is the story of one such post. What started as an innocuous message quickly spiraled into something far more disturbing. The post. In the missed connections section of Craigslist, a peculiar ad appeared. Dear Sarah, I've been watching you for 2 weeks now. You don't know me, but I know you. You're so beautiful, so small, so perfect. There's so much I could teach you, so much I could give you. Money, gifts, whatever you want. If you want to run away with me, write back. I'll be waiting. What made the post even more unsettling was the photo attached to it. A grainy image of a modest 2-story house taken from the street. The chilling realization struck many readers. Whoever wrote this had been watching Sarah whoever she was from the shadows. A community in panic. The post didn't stay up for long. Craigslist moderators removed it within hours, but not before screenshots began circulating on social media and local forums. The photo of the house was quickly identified by concerned residents of a small town in Pennsylvania. "That's my neighbor's house," one commenter wrote. "They have a little girl named Sarah." The police were contacted, and they visited the house in question. Sarah's parents were horrified to learn about the post. The family confirmed that the house in the photo was theirs, and that Sarah was their 10-year-old daughter. The parents were adamant that they had not noticed anything unusual over the past few weeks. But when detectives searched the property, they found signs that someone had been trespassing. Footprints in the mud beneath Sarah's bedroom window, and cigarette butts scattered near the backyard fence. A sinister history. As the investigation deepened, authorities discovered that similar posts had appeared in other areas over the past year. Each ad targeted a specific individual, typically a young girl, and always included a photo of their home. In one case, a post had led to an attempted kidnapping. The victim, an 11-year-old from Ohio, had narrowly escaped when a neighbor saw a suspicious man trying to lure her into a van. The suspect fled before he could be identified. Despite the similarities, police couldn't trace the posts back to a specific individual. Whoever was behind them knew how to cover their tracks, using disposable phones, public Wi-Fi, and burner accounts to avoid detection. The night visitor. A week after the post was removed, Sarah's family started noticing strange occurrences. The family dog, usually calm, began barking furiously at night. On one occasion, Sarah's mother swore she saw a shadow moving near the edge of their property, but when she went outside, no one was there. The final straw came one evening when Sarah's father heard a soft tapping at the front door. When he opened it, no one was there, but a small box was left on the porch. Inside was a child's bracelet and a note that read, "I'll come back for her." Terrified, the family packed their belongings and moved to a relative's house the next day. The disappearance. Despite their precautions, Sarah's safety wasn't guaranteed. 2 weeks later, on a Friday evening, Sarah's mother went to check on her daughter before bed and found her room empty. The window was wide open, the curtains blowing in the breeze. A search of the area revealed no signs of Sarah or her abductor. The aftermath. Sarah's disappearance made national headlines, and a massive manhunt ensued. However, months passed with no leads. The person behind the Craigslist post was never found, and Sarah's case remains unsolved to this day. Over time, people began to speculate about the true nature of the abductions tied to these posts. Was this the work of a single predator? Or was it part of something larger? An underground network using Craigslist to find victims? A warning, this story serves as a grim reminder of the dangers lurking online. Craigslist, like many platforms, can be a useful tool, but it can also become a hunting ground for those with dark intentions. If you ever come across a post that feels off, trust your instincts. And if you see a post like the one addressed to Sarah, don't ignore it. It could be someone's cry for help. The Free Couch Craigslist is known for its free stuff section, a treasure trove of items people want to give away, from furniture to old electronics. But as the saying goes, nothing in life is truly free. Sometimes, what seems like a generous offer can hide something far more sinister. This is the story of a free couch and the dark intentions behind it. The ad in early 2017, a Craigslist post appeared in Detroit's free stuff section. Free couch, slightly worn, but in great condition. Perfect for your home. Come pick it up at address tonight at 10 p.m. No neighbors, no hassles. Just swing by and take it. The post included a photo of a large, faded leather couch sitting on the front lawn of a rundown house. Despite its worn appearance, the couch looked sturdy and inviting enough for anyone needing furniture on a budget. A risky pickup Jamal, a college student in desperate need of furniture for his new apartment, came across the post. The late-night pickup seemed unusual, but the thought of a free couch overrode his hesitation. At 9:45 p.m., he loaded up his truck and drove to the address listed in the ad. The neighborhood was unsettling, to say the least. Rows of abandoned houses, broken streetlights, and an eerie quietness that made Jamal's skin crawl. When he arrived, the couch was exactly as pictured, sitting alone on the overgrown lawn. But something felt wrong. A strange encounter. As Jamal approached the couch, he noticed faint movement in one of the darkened windows of the house. His heart began to race. "Hello? Is anyone here?" he called out. There was no response, just the whisper of the wind and the rustling of leaves. Determined to grab the couch and leave quickly, Jamal bent down to inspect it. That's when he noticed something odd. The cushion smelled faintly of bleach, and the underside was damp. His unease grew stronger. Suddenly, he heard the creak of a door behind him. Turning, he saw the front door of the house slowly opening, though no one stepped out. The escape panicked. Jamal abandoned the couch and ran back to his truck. As he started the engine, he saw figures emerging from the shadows around the house. 2, maybe 3 people, all wearing dark clothes and moving toward him. He floored the gas pedal and sped away, not daring to look back. The police investigation. The next morning, Jamal called the police to report the strange encounter. When they arrived at the address, the couch was gone, and the house appeared abandoned. However, in the basement, they found chilling evidence. Bloodstains on the floor, partially scrubbed with bleach. A collection of zip ties, duct tape, and a roll of plastic sheeting. A camera tripod, and several discarded SD cards. The evidence suggested that the house had been used for something far more sinister than furniture giveaways. The bigger picture. As news of the discovery spread, more people came forward with similar stories about free items left in dangerous neighborhoods. In one case, a woman reported being attacked when she went to pick up a free dining table, narrowly escaping after screaming for help. Authorities began to suspect that a group was using Craigslist ads to lure victims into secluded areas, but they were unable to track down the individuals responsible. A warning: the free couch incident is a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking behind online ads. Craigslist can be a great place to find deals, but safety should always come first. If you ever plan to pick up an item from someone you don't know, take precautions. Never go alone, especially at night. Share your plans with someone you trust. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, leave immediately. Because sometimes the cost of free is far more than you're willing to pay. The roommate ad Craigslist has long been the go-to place for people searching for a roommate. But while most ads are straightforward, every now and then, something stands out. A post so bizarre, it makes you question the person behind it. This is the story of one such ad. What began as a strange set of rules turned into something far more disturbing. The ad, in late 2018, a Craigslist post appeared in the worry rooms and shared section of a city in Oregon. Roommate wanted $200/month plus utilities. Room for rent in quiet house. Must follow house rules. Serious inquiries only. The post included a single photo of a small, dimly lit bedroom with a twin bed and bare walls. But what caught everyone's attention was the list of rules that followed. If I ring the bell in the kitchen, you must immediately go to your room, no matter the time. You may have guests, but if they are too loud, they must leave immediately. No friends or family from India. Never touch my bathroom curtain. If it is closed, call me and I will open it for you. Do not ask about the locked door in the basement. Despite the bizarre rules, the low rent caught the eye of a man named Jake, a 27-year-old looking for an affordable place to live while saving for grad school. Against his better judgment, he decided to check it out. The house. The house was older, with peeling paint and overgrown shrubs. The landlord, a man in his 50s named Raymond, greeted Jake at the door. He was polite, but had an unsettling presence. His movements were deliberate. His smile never quite reached his eyes. As Raymond showed Jake around, he emphasized the importance of the house rules, particularly the one about the bathroom curtain. If it's closed, Raymond said, with a smile that made Jake's skin crawl, don't touch it. Just call me. The locked basement door caught Jake's attention. When he asked about it, Raymond's demeanor shifted. Just storage, he said curtly, before steering Jake away. Moving. And despite his initial reservations, Jake moved in the following week. The first few days were uneventful, though he couldn't shake the feeling that Raymond was always watching him. Late one night, as Jake was reading in his room, he heard the faint chime of a bell from the kitchen. Confused, he stepped out into the hallway, only to find Raymond standing there, staring at him. I rang the bell, Raymond said, his tone cold. Go to your room. Not wanting to cause trouble, Jake retreated and locked the door behind him. The curtain incident. A few weeks later, Jake decided to take a shower. The bathroom curtain was closed, as usual. Remembering the rule, he called out for Raymond, but there was no response. Frustrated, Jake pulled the curtain back himself. What he saw made his stomach drop. Behind the curtain was not a tub, but a large, empty space where the floor had been removed. The pit was deep, lined with plastic sheeting, and at the bottom was a chair with restraints bolted to the floor. Before Jake could react, he heard footsteps approaching. Panicking, he rushed back to his room and locked the door. The escape that night, Jake decided he had to leave. As he packed his things, he heard movement outside his door. Peeking through the crack, he saw Raymond standing in the hallway, holding the bell in one hand and a hammer in the other. Jake waited until Raymond walked away before slipping out through the window. He ran to his car and didn't stop driving until he reached a friend's house. The aftermath. Jake reported everything to the police, who searched the house. Inside, they found more than he had described. Hidden cameras in every room. A blood-stained tarp in the basement. A collection of ID cards from previous tenants, all of whom were reported missing. Raymond was never caught. Authorities believe he fled after Jake's escape, and his whereabouts remain unknown. A cautionary tale. Roommate ads might seem like a great way to save money, but not everyone on Craigslist can be trusted. If you're ever considering a living arrangement that feels off, trust your instincts. And if the rules seem strange, there's probably a reason for that.